Hello, our beloved parishioners. Thank you for tuning in for this week's bonus content. I've got a couple things to talk to you about. I'm going to start out. This episode, we talked a lot about priestly fashion.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, this thing sounds nuts, right? It's like a checkered coat and gold breastplate and all these precious jewels on it, and then a headband and a turban and a sash and also animal blood and stuff like that. However, to be fair, if you do think about it, like priestly fashion across a wide variety of traditions is pretty bonkers, right?
I'll have to
Think
take
about a
your
Catholic
word
priest.
for it. Well, I guess like what the Catholic priests wear.
Think about the Pope. Think of the Pope hat.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
that's
hat.
true. That's a good point.
You know,
Yeah.
Pope.
I think that when you think about that kind of stuff comparatively, the whole Israelite priest thing doesn't seem that nutso. I'm going to start out though by screen sharing with you
Okay.
some artist depictions of these holy garments that were described in the book here. Can y'all see what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's definitely kind of the typical, like, very long undershirt kind of dressish, masculine dress kind of thing that I think we're used to thinking about in the Old Testament, but with like the most blinged out, fantabulous apron possible that you could think of.
Yeah,
I
Plus-
see the
It does look
gold
a lot like
bell.
an apron.
It does.
Oh yeah, you
Yes.
see all the gems for
The
all the
gold- well,
tribes.
No, I see. Yes, I
Uh-huh.
see the gems, but also the golden bell and the pomegranate.
Oh right.
Yes, the bells and the pomegranates, one of each.
golden bell,
Ad
pomegranate,
infinitum.
golden bell, pomegranate,
Pomegranate,
and
yes.
so on
Exactly.
around.
Is this Aaron? Is this who we're looking at? Aaron.
Well, Aaron was the first, but the idea being that it's like over the course of many, many generations, this costume and the duties of being a priest are going to be handed down forever, basically.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, here's an artist depictions of the priest being consecrated. There's all these like strappy boys without a shirt on, but they're getting dressed.
But they're wearing that
like was
underwear that God
described.
described that goes all the way down
They
to
are.
their thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
There's
they
like,
need-
please
they
wear
need to
underwear,
have that on.
please.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
God
so it is really
basically.
interesting.
Wait, did God invent boxer briefs? I think that's what
that
just
does seem to be
happened.
what this image is suggesting to us, isn't it? Because it does look like they're just wearing some like white boxer briefs, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I like it.
Interesting.
I like it very much.
So separate from all this, Emily, I was just curious to know,
Please.
separate from the priestly garments, when you think about Old Testament fashion or biblical fashion, what comes to mind?
Oh, I thought that they would be in like browns and maybe taupes. Not
But I mean,
blues. Not
sure.
this. Like, I didn't expect this. There's a couple images here that have people in turbans and in, long kind of linen-y outfits that look like they would be very cool against the hot desert sun.
Yes.
But I didn't
yes.
expect that at all. And so much detail, God, you gave a lot of detail. And I guess
Well, okay.
I guess we had to, but here we are.
But this is for the priests, right? The priests get to wear like the most fabulous garment, right? Because
Yes.
they're super special. So I was looking and like Brigham Young University has a straight up manual
Really?
for interpreting Old Testament clothing that starts out with like it has this whole list of like particular books that you can reference, and I'm not sure who this manual is aimed at. I don't know if it's like whoever's making costumes for like the Christmas play or whatever.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
But it's like this big list of like particular books that you can look at for reference images, but it also has some like costume renderings. The interesting thing that I learned is that there's actually not a lot of like source material depictions of Israelite clothing, but there's a lot from the Assyrians and the Hittites and the Egyptians. They all actually have like art and source material that we can look at, and so we can kind of extrapolate exactly what
Whoa.
they may have all been about, essentially.
Some of these are very interesting. They're
Yeah.
very, very interesting pictures.
Well, again, a lot of that like strappy little skirt kind of action that was so in for so long with men.
Yeah, yeah.
But doesn't seem to be in anymore.
Sadly. Yeah.
I don't know if Jase, you had this experience, but like I know that when I was growing up in Christian school and in church, it's like anytime you put on a biblical play, whether it was set in the Old Testament or the New Testament, it was literally like the same costumes. It's like literally the same. It's like made out of a sheet.
Yeah,
goes down to
Basically
your
toga
ankles.
party. Yeah.
Totally.
It's basically toga party. You wrap a thing around your waist. Maybe you put a cover on your head or something. But it's like literally like no
It's
matter
very
where we are in the Bible, it's the
plain,
same.
though. Yeah, like I expected it to be more plain, but these are like garments of gold and jewels and blue and purple. Like
Well,
this
again, for the
this
priests.
was not what I. But be that as it
Yes.
may, I mean, you know, you see Jesus and you see him always like in garments of taupe, of nothing, of
Well,
like very
hang on, though.
little.
Because this is the thing I want to point out is what always was strange to me is that like this history spanned several hundreds of years over the course of the Bible, right? From the Old Testament to the New
Sure.
Testament. It's several centuries.
Yes.
But our interpretation of the fashion is always literally the exact same.
No, you're
Right.
absolutely right. But
That's true. If
but
you
why
think
does
about like 100 years of fashion, that's a pretty drastic change.
But I'm sorry, the fashion gets less ostentatious as time goes on.
Well, but I'm just wondering, like, I don't know, is that accurate? Was it just like these nomadic desert
don't
living people
know.
were like, this is what works for us, so we're going to keep it the same? Or is that us just putting our Western perspective of not knowing what the hell to dress people in for a Christmas play? And so we just
Probably
kind of dress
that.
them all in the same thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Jesus in pants?
No.
We've never seen a depiction of Jesus in pants, but maybe
No.
he wore pants. We don't know.
He might have worn pants.
He may have worn pants. Maybe he had some pants days. Isn't that so weird to imagine Jesus in pants?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Right?
I don't know. I'm kind of into it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I need
I mean,
to.
I feel like he would still be in like an all white linen suit.
Sure, he'd still look like a hippie, but
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a hippie, right?
I'm just Googling Jesus in pants. Nope, nothing good.
nothing good.
Nope. No.
Can you just Google Jesus and see what comes up?
Oh, just like images?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting ahead of
It's gonna
ourselves
be
in this
all the
book, but it's going to
typical-
be. It's the usual.
Oh yeah, it's all white robes.
well
like
blue sometimes.
I don't know, maybe that's just the
or
lighting.
Sort of yellow. This one's red.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty basic.
But he's wearing a
Basic
dress
colors.
is basically what we're saying. It's a dress.
Yeah, big-
it's a muumuu.
toga situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Well, there it is. All right, was there anything else to
Well,
talk about?
Yeah, I just had to look up what the heck a heave offering is because
God, I can't
that just
even.
killed me.
It killed
makes
all
me,
of us.
Before you explain what it actually
Okay,
is,
yeah,
it makes
yeah.
me think of the water bottle challenge of like trying to heave this water bottle so that it flips and then lands.
I don't know of what you speak.
It's because you don't know any teenagers, and to be fair, neither do I. But
Yeah,
You know,
how
where
do
you have like a half-filled bottle of water and you try to throw it so it flips and lands upright on a table.
That's stupid.
No, it's fun. Okay.
Is it?
Why am I
have
the
you-
one defending this? I'm the oldest of the three of us.
That's true. Well, I guess you're the youngest in heart.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. All right.
Yep. Okay, so any guesses about how this heave offering word came to be? Because it's way more interesting than I thought it would be, or way more different than
Did
I
they
thought it
throw
would be.
things? Did they wave it and then throw it?
Well, no.
Okay. Tell us then, please.
Basically, that it's sort of a translation issue.
Oh,
So
okay.
a heave offering is teruma, is how it's said in Hebrew.
Okay.
Is teruma. And teruma or terumah, I don't know how you say it. I'm sorry. It comes from the verb stem, which means high or to lift up.
Okay.
And so the formation of the verb is parallel to the formation of, or I'm sorry, the formation of this noun,
Okay.
teruma, is the same or like is parallel to the formation of the noun wave offering. So these both
Oh.
kind of came from a similar weird English trying to make these two things translate similar to each other because they had a similar structure to them, I
Okay.
guess, which comes from the verb stem to wave, whereas this one is to lift up. And apparently it tends to refer to something like lifting up a small part of something else
Okay.
as an offering. What's interesting, though, is that I learned is that the word is usually used in a positive sense of an offering to God, although it also has a negative meaning and is sometimes used for like graft or like bribery or like a dishonest
Oh.
judge who takes gifts. This
Oh,
word is
that
also
kind of
used in
offering.
that context.
Huh.
Yeah.
like what do they call it? Like a sweetening the deal kind of offering, or a buttering
Yeah.
up offering. or a-
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But specifically, this terumah offering is restricted in Torah rules that it can only be eaten by priests, their families, and their servants.
Wow.
And it can only be consumed while in a state of ritual purity, which I guess we kind of had described for us there.
Okay.
It's also known as like a great offering. So anyway, yeah, it really has nothing to do with throwing it at all.
Okay.
It's more just sort of a weird translation.
Yeah, that's such a strange word to use for this.
Yeah.
What about the waving one? Is it what we think, like kind of shaking it around or doing a
Yeah,
baseball
good
wave?
point.
Like,
Let me see. I was going to look that one up, but what I wanted to say about heave offering real quick, what's interesting about it is that in the Hebrew Bible, the term terumah, or a heave offering, is used 76 times. But in the Christian Bibles, it's generally translated as just offering, but sometimes a heave offering. Like in the King James, 4 times it's called a heave offering,
Okay.
even though that same word actually occurs many more times. It's just not always translated that way.
Huh.
So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing with that. Let me see if I can see. Let's see. The heave offering is both types of offerings occur together in Exodus and Leviticus from a sacrificed ram. Yeah.
oh, so you're telling me there's going to be more of these waving and heavings in Leviticus as well?
Wave offerings and
Oh,
heave
boy.
offerings. We're not done with those.
I'm
Okay,
sure we're
alright.
not.
Yeah, I guess. Let's see. An omer offering is what the wave offering. It's also called a sheaf offering. So again, it's this weird sort of translation thing where like it comes from this root verb to wave, but like may not actually have anything to do with waving. It may just be more like denoting a particular type of offering.
Jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. Just like,
What a difficult challenge. I'm thinking of like people who are contemporary translators of the Bible, because there's still people who go back to like the Hebrew texts
mhm.
and do their best to kind of retranslate and kind of come up with new versions. And I'm sure it's really fun for like figuring out the story, like, you know, the more exciting stories. But then when you get to this stuff where it's like wave offering,
Gosh.
heave offering,
Yeah, just doing the best that you
freaking
possibly can.
ephods and breastplates of judgment and stuff like that, like it's just really difficult as a translator, I feel, dealing with a
Absolutely.
really, really ancient version of a language.
I can imagine.
And you have to be like, am I going to be the one person who rocks the boat and tries to call this something else? Or do I just stick with heave offering because that's what everyone else has
It's a
done?
good point.
Well, I
It's
guess
a
then
really
there's
good
that also
point.
that issue of like your values coming into it too, where you're like, how important is it that a modern, let's say, Christian contemporary reader knows that there's a difference between a heave offering and a wave offering? Like, how important is it? Can I just translate it as offering and that'll be okay? It's like such decisions you have to make.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and like with the King James, where it said 4 times they call it a heave offering, a few times they call it an oblation offering, which I think
Wow.
we did see once and were confused by.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the time it's just offering. So they were making those choices of
Huh,
just like,
right.
well, I don't know. Oh, of
Yeah.
course, that's also assuming it's like one translator doing this, and it's actually probably
Probably
many of them.
multiple with
Yeah.
many different values and decisions and choices and
Right.
Goodness.
yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
Anyway, in
Gosh.
reading about this too, I got some stuff going forward that I don't think we'll actually see in the text of the Bible, but some disagreements about the lineage of the priests.
Huh.
Essentially, some
Ah.
people saying the priests can only be descendants of Aaron,
Really?
and
That's it?
and other people saying no, it's everyone who's of the lineage of Levi, who was
Yeah, because I thought it was the
Yeah.
Levites originally.
Yeah, so there's a disagreement. Is it all Levites can become priests, or only the descendants of Aaron?
Interesting.
So yeah.
Controversy.
Controversy.
Wow.
We'll probably won't see that in the text of the Bible, but if you read into like how some books say one things and others say other things, apparently there's some hot goss to be had.
Oh, I'm sure. Wow.
All right, well, that was fun.
Yes.
We will see you all next week. Leave your comments and let us know if there's any stupid mistakes that we made about all of this.
Oh. Indeed.
All right, see you next week.